Ready Check Radio.
Stand by as we get ready to serve up all your news this week in the world of gaming. Welcome to Gaming Gumbo. Hello, Internet. Welcome once again to Gaming Gumbo, Ready Check Radio's weekly gaming wrap-up podcast. I'm your host, Mike Byrne, and we got some stuff to cover today. If you're watching on YouTube or listening on Spotify, head on over there to readycheckradio.com. Make sure in the upper right-hand corner you click on all those socials. Follow on Twitter, Twitch, Facebook, YouTube, subscribe, notification bells, all that stuff helps us out. And, of course, come on over live. It's Saturday, 7 p.m. Eastern, and we're doing the show live, twitch.tv/readycheckradio, RAIDEO. We got a little bit of MMO corner, like Shades of Tweemo, Mr. Winter. Shades of Tweemo. We've got some MMO news we're going to cover, and then we got some other odds and ends, including some financial information, too. Joining me to go through all of it, Mr. Jason Winter. How are you, sir?
I don't know if it's Tweemo, because it's only starting 5 minutes late.
True. Yeah, and
We have to go like
technically we
another
were
half
on
hour
time.
at
We were
least.
just trying to see if there was anything we could do to help stabilize Twitch, because it's being bad, so... Yeah, I guess you're right. Also on the line, resident artist of Ready Check Radio, Yod. How are you, sir? You're like
I'm
very
all right.
low
I
in
mean-
your shot again. You keep sinking down when you pet your
It's
cat.
because I got this cat in my lap. Oh. I'm
Well,
doing all right.
yeah.
You know, I mean, the app is called Twitch, so you know you can't expect it not to be twitchy.
So it does
after
twitch a little
all.
bit. It does
Yes.
twitch a little bit. Well, I mean, we kind of teased it, so let's just get started with it. We do have MMO news to go through. So one we've kind of known was coming for a while. We'll get to that second, gentlemen, because some of us have been receiving press releases for a game that we had no clue was even coming, and all of a sudden, it's literally a month or two away. I mean, just boom. And you don't normally see that be the case for MMOs. Of course, today we're going to be talking about Swords of Legend Online. Not something that Jason and I can talk about on MMOBomb.com, since this will not be free to play. In fact, you can pre-order packages right now on Steam, ranging from $39.99 all the way up to $100 USD. It just depends on what all you want in the bundle. Now, right now, the game is in an alpha stage. We're showing some B-roll right here for you to get a peek of what this might look like. Now, this has actually been out, gentlemen, for about a year and a half, like 2019 in China, but now kind of just making its way everywhere. And obviously, just watching the trailer, I'm sure... Is this the right trailer? This is not the right trailer. That's
I don't know.
That's
my
Elyon.
Twitch hasn't got.
There we go. Let's go ahead and switch that one.
Oh, God.
There we go. Let's go ahead and switch that. There we go. That's the Swords of Legend.
We should have just switched and started talking about Elyon.
Right.
Yeah.
Just jumped ahead.
Been easier.
Now, obviously, very heavily Eastern inspired. Not surprising for an MMO that launches in China first and then starts going everywhere. But Jason, yeah, you and I just kind of got bombarded with emails out of nowhere for this one. Had no clue it was coming, which kind of hard to take you and I by surprise on something like this.
Well, it wasn't hard to take it by surprise, because they didn't really take me by surprise, because they told me to check the stuff again every time in case I missed it. So it's like, I've been hearing about the same thing like over and over for the past 3 months or whatever.
Yeah, I know when I got the first email, I was like, what? Wait, what is this? Like, what is it? It wasn't some like little mobile thing that, yeah, okay, fine, you missed this. This was like full-blown MMORPG, you know.
This PC MMO, right?
Yeah,
It's
6
not-
classes. All of them could be male and female. Now, disclaimer, I'm allowed to say this. I am in the alpha right now. So I have had a little bit of hands-on time with this. Not a lot, just like an hour or two, you know, messing around with things.
You're special.
And I'm actually, so this is a very unusual NDA, Jason. I'm allowed to say whatever the hell I want about the game. Things I've experienced. I just can't show you video footage that I have gathered. I'm still allowed to gather it so that after embargo in the middle of May, if I wanted to make a video, I could with the footage I'm getting right now. I just can't show it to you. I'm allowed. I could even do a written preview article as long as I use generic screenshots that they sent us.
Was it Realm
Wow.
Reborn that had the thing where like you couldn't stream it, but you could use any screenshots you wanted? So
Yeah.
someone was like someone did a stream where they literally took like one frame every 4 seconds or something. I remember watching that for a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah, and I remember some
That's
other
kinda
site
cool.
stealing every single article I wrote on Gamebreaker at the time and publishing it without
geez.
my name on it. We had to
Mm.
like, send, oh, that was fun. Anyway, so this is supposed to be a like fully remastered and improved version of a Chinese game, and I'm gonna get this wrong, Yad. Maybe you have enough experience with
It's
these
possible.
multiple languages that you can parse
Mhm.
it, but I believe it's Gujiang Kitan online. Sounds about right, maybe.
Probably
Roughly, I
Chi.
guess.
QI is usually Chi,
Chi,
right?
yeah.
Chi or Key.
Okay.
And
Whatever.
so that came out in 2019 and has been continuously improved since then. So here we go. We've got a PvE trailer with content. We've got 6 classes, no gender locking. And honestly, I think when you watch this trailer, Yad, you don't kind of immediately go, wow, that's a cheap Eastern MMORPG cash-in. I got to admit that visually, it does look pretty damn good. Not top
Yeah,
tier,
it
certainly not
looks.
top tier, but pretty damn
No,
good.
no. I mean, it looks at least Guild Wars level, if not more. And I mean, I didn't see anything about a subscription fee. Is it just buy and play like Guild Wars is, or is it
Yeah, so right now it's just a buy to play.
okay?
I don't
That's not bad.
know if there's going to be like some optional sub, but it's just a buy to
Okay,
play box fee right now with
yeah,
a
that's
cash
that's
shop
not
for
bad.
other cosmetics and shit.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, that's not bad at all. And I mean, the myths that they're going with and stuff like that looks about right. With the stuff I was raised with at least, and it looks really cool. I'm liking it. I like the feel because it doesn't feel like other MMOs.
Yeah. Well, from a control aspect, as far as feeling, Jason, it is WASD movement tab targeting with an option, like right off the bat, just like some other MMOs, they give you the option of, hey, do you want to do it this way or do you want to do the more action-oriented stuff? And every time I've seen an MMO do that, give you the option, like even Terra, right? When they give you the option for that action combat-y type feel, it kind of feels like tacked on. Like, remember Bless did that? They took the game down for a while and then tried to implement action combat, and it feels tacked on and half-ass. I started with action combat version when I started playing, and I haven't switched away from it. Like, it feels really solid. I've got to be honest, I was totally surprised by, again, only 2 or 3 hours in here. This feels like what I wanted so far. Limited experience. So what I wanted, like an Age of Wushu or a Blade and Soul to feel like.
Blade and Soul. Yeah, that was the other one I was trying to think of. I was like,
Yep.
there was one that I was waiting for because I watched the anime for it and stuff, and I saw the previews of the untranslated version. I wanted to play it, but then it kind of
Yep.
went away.
Yep. Indian tanker in chat. Hello, both of you. Love you both. Yeah, you know us. You know us. So
Wait, there's
Jason,
3 of us here.
There is.
what do you got? What do you got opinion wise here now that you've seen some trailers, you've taken a look at some of this stuff? I will say that set piece moments, the game does start you right off with a couple big set piece moments. So it kind of takes that Guild Wars 2 mentality of let's start with a big set piece rather than reserve those for, end game max level stuff. So I do kind of like where this is going now. Obviously, I still have to sink some more time in it to see if it's something I'll actually play on a daily basis or a weekly basis or whatever. But I was pleasantly surprised here. You haven't played yet. Does it even remotely interest you in any way?
Admittedly, for all the press releases we'd gotten, I never really looked into it to see what it is or what it's really like. So I went around searching around the little thing you linked to on Reddit, and I also just found a Q&A that they did apparently. because their website doesn't have a whole lot there. It's just, okay, there are classes, there are
Mhm.
dungeons, all the usual. Okay, whatever. I look for the Q&A. It's like, yes, there is PvP. Yes, there is housing. It's like there's so much nothing that I'm seeing when it
Yeah,
comes to like real details about the game. The
their
way you,
website does seem to be lacking a little bit of
yeah,
information. It
it's
it it's kind of like if you know if you played the before remaster only released in China version, you know all this stuff. So we don't have to tell you it. Here's the remaster version. It's like, no, we haven't seen this before.
it's like it feels to me the fact that it has been such a big deal in China, like you say, like y'all is kind of pointing at too.
Yep.
It feels like one of those things that was like, this is really huge in China. Let's bring it over to the U.S. or the North America or Western territories. Okay, what are we going to do to make it better? Nothing. It's just the same game. Just toss it over, translate
Yeah,
it. It'll be fine.
yeah.
And
And
of
it's
course,
actually interesting. I
we
just
do
want to say
have
one.
pretty bare bones translations right now. Like,
Sure.
for the most, it is not like I'm playing the game in Mandarin and just trying to parse together what is going on. It is pretty damn close to being done, at
Oh
least
my
the early
God,
game stuff.
English.
Yeah.
Right. There's
Gotta
none of
love the
that
English
going on.
translations.
But there are so they do this very anime-esque intro to these like the key marquee characters at the beginning,
Nice,
right? Where they come
nice.
flying into this meeting and there's a freeze frame and they're, in some action pose and their name gets scrolled down on a graphic. Well, that's not translated and there's no subtitles. So I'm like, I have no idea what the names for these people are until I see them speak in a cutscene and their name is in the subtitles for their text, who's saying what. Another thing is like most of this is voice acted too. In playing it, there's an awful lot of voice acting. Not everything, but damn near. So sorry, Jason, go ahead.
But say, yeah, the one thing that I found when I was looking at Reddit and seeing what someone said about it, he said, and this is pretty well sums up what my thought was just by looking at it. It said, "Jack of all trades, master of none. The game so far doesn't really excel at any particular point, like BDO excelled at combat, which may lead to some underwhelming first impressions." And that's kind of what I look at. It's like what you described. It might be a somewhat better Blade and Soul, but
Yeah.
that's about the extent of it. And Blade and Soul was okay-ish, I guess. But
Yeah,
I don't know.
I got the feeling of a Blade and Soul without like the nausea that I get with a Blade and Soul. And that's not like the vertigo that Troy gets. It's just the performance issues for Blade and Soul have just always made the game just not enjoyable for me. Just the frame rate, the optimization, and all of that stuff. And yes, you're right. This is very based in parties of 5, 1 tank, 1 healer, 3 DPS. It is very, very based in traditional MMORPG stuff, but it
Right,
feels smooth. And I'm a
not
little
not
weirded
to
out that it says when you're adult female is the gender. So, of course, somebody asked, like, okay, fine, when are we getting lollies then? Because, you said adult female. But there is none of that in there right now. 6 classes, all male, all female, options, no gender locking. And everybody's an adult grown-up.
Okay, so the adult female translation issue and so that's probably a translation issue because
Yeah.
Chinese does have a differentiation in wording between adult female and child female, adult male and child male. So that
So do
might be a
we call them women and girls, men and boys. So I mean, it's
right,
like,
but that might be a localization issue that can be fixed later. They just said, okay, just put that in a direct translation in
oh,
place
it'll get
for
fixed
now.
later. Don't worry, we'll absolutely nail all this once it's done. We're just an alpha now. It'll be fine. It'll all be fine.
But not to derail too much, but what happened with Blade and Soul? Because I mean, that was a game that I was actually looking for, and then it just kind of poof.
Yeah, I
went
mean,
away.
that still gets mega
wow.
hits. Like there is a big audience for that one, and with
It's
the
a mega
Unreal
hit, well-
4, it gets mega hits when we post something on like
That's true.
MMO
Yeah.
Bomb. It still gets stupid amounts of clicks and read throughs. So there is an audience that enjoys that, and then there's even more like me that are like, I could enjoy this if it were optimized more. Let's see what they do with the Unreal 4 revamp that's coming out in a couple of months. Maybe that'll help optimize it a little bit better. But honestly, after playing like 2 or 3 hours of this, I'm like, I would rather give this Swords of Legend a little more time than to jump
Oh.
into Blade and Soul again.
The disadvantage is Swords of Legends
A
might cost me $40.
Japanese. Well, it was kind of a Japanese look at Chinese mythology. Was what it was in the anime and stuff. It was like look
Blade and
through
Soul.
the lens of another culture into that mythology. Which this one is obviously it's built in China, made by Chinese people of those myths. So
Yeah,
it's gonna have.
I've never even heard of this damn company. I've covered MMOs for 10 years now, Jason. This is Wang Yuan, Shangtang, and Aragon.
Shangtang? No, Shang Hong, I think, is the one that owned Jagex.
Yeah, that's Jagex. I've never heard of any of these companies. But
honestly, we probably haven't heard of most Chinese game companies.
That's true.
True.
They
True.
haven't released something in the U.S.
Yeah, true.
A
But when
lot
you're
of them
talking
probably don't
about
get to leave.
AAA level MMORPGs, it's hard to all of a sudden throw a company at me that I'm not at least like vaguely familiar with.
Had you heard of MiHoYo a year ago?
Little bit. Yeah, I did though because of Honkai Impact 30.
Oh, I guess Honkai. All right,
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah, and so yes, I had heard of them. No gamepad support. It actually, this is such a weird FAQ. The game features partial controller support.
Partial?
While we have custom settings for gamepad usage, some parts of the UI might not be fully optimized for controllers. So again, one of those things you're like, I kind of understand what they're saying there, that not all of our menus are probably ready for that, but you know, if you wanted to try it, go for it. Honestly, yeah, I don't have anything negative to say yet. I'm sure I will. I'm sure it is buy to play, so buy the box and you're done. They are going to have a cosmetics only cash shop. That much they have acknowledged. Will there be like an optional season or a subscription or something like that? I don't know. We'll see. But all in all, for something that just literally came out of nowhere for me, I was pleasantly surprised.
The other thing is, I didn't see it if it was there. I might have missed it. You know, glossing over all the pretty pictures and stuff like that. But is there an American company localizing it, or are they trying to localize it themselves?
Well, it's published by GameForge.
Okay.
So, and I don't know. So I don't know who's actually doing the localization itself, whether that would be on the publisher side or if they have an internal team doing it. But it is published by a company that has been operating in English primarily speaking languages for a very long time.
Okay. Okay.
So we'll see. We'll see.
Yeah,
If you can if you pre-purchase one of the things, most of the packs come with access for betas and stuff like that. But if you want to wait on this one, it's only a couple months away, summer of 2021. So kind of one that I would say really, keep an eye on. Actually,
really
keep an eye on. I will stream it, but I can't yet. I'm allowed to say whatever the hell I want, but I can't show you video or screenshots until after May 14th. So
that's because right now you're playing
weeks.
off of Chinese servers.
No, I'm not actually.
No,
I'm not. But yeah, come on back. 2 weeks right here, Ready Check Radio. We'll be streaming it. Now another MMO RPG for those of you that are kind of hungering for them is just around the corner as well. Now, Jason, you and I actually did get a chance to talk about this for quite some time on MMO Bomb before, surprise, surprise, it's not free to play, which kind of shocked me. And this one is Elyon, which some of you in chat might remember as Ascent Infinite Realm, Air, which was already a dumb name to begin with, but much better than just Elyon. I feel like we're getting another Ion here. Now they're starting their first
a bit more epic.
Yeah, they're starting their first closed beta on May 6th. And I think let's start, Jason, with just your initial thoughts, because you haven't been really all that hyped for this one. Q and I liked the look of some very early trailers that had like very steampunky vibes and airships, which we'll get to in a second, and all kinds of other. It looked like they were taking Final Fantasy and just pushing all of the Final Fantasy stuff into one game, trying to hit that audience. And Q and I were interested, but honestly, as time's gone by, I get a little less interested. And I don't know if I'm still on the train, but you've kind of been even keel, like 5 or 6 out of 10 on this one at best.
Yeah.
So what do you think now that we're getting closer to actually being able to play the damn thing here?
I think if you had to tell me which I had to play one of them of the 2 games we're covering today, this would be the one that I would rather play instead.
Really?
I just think it does actually look better. Like it's like what you were saying with the other one. It's like it doesn't look quite AAA enough, just in terms of appearance. I think
Yeah.
this one looks nicer. I like the look of and although I was never a fan of Terra for various reasons, this one reminds me of Terra when I look at the combat of it.
Well,
And it
and
looks a
that's
lot
not
nicer and more
surprising. It is crafted
Blue
Blue
Hole, yeah,
Hole,
yeah.
so it's not. No, it's
So it
not
looks a lot more
actually called
interesting.
Elyon Ascent Infinite Realm. Go to their website. It is
No.
purely just Elyon now.
It is really just Elyon,
Yep.
yeah. Well, they say it's like formerly Ascended sometimes, so they'll toss it in there.
Yeah.
But yeah, it does not have a subtitle. But yeah, I mean, again, it doesn't look like it has a whole lot that's new. I don't think I'd necessarily like spend $40 to play either one of them. But this one at least looks a little nicer. It's like I said, coming from a team that at least has made games that I'm kind of familiar with and that I'm kind of okay with. They do mention like something like the floating islands is kind of a neat thing that they talk about for housing. So they've got at least a little bit going for themselves that makes it stand out to some degree that I think I could be interested in it.
Yod, have you been following this one at all, or are we surprising you here with one?
I did deep dive it when I saw it on the show notes, and I mean, I get what you mean by it looks a little more spit and polished, but the designs to me really feel generic. Like they went and grabbed all the designs from all the popular MMOs and just threw them together, and I just
What do you mean?
don't.
They got humans, elves, orcs as
Uh-huh.
playable character or
Uh-huh.
playable
Uh-huh.
races.
Uh-huh.
They also
Uh-huh.
have the Ein or the N, which is like their little cat people. Like
Furries.
not
Uh-huh.
don't think Mithra, think like short actual cats.
You mean like furry potatoes?
Yeah, they do
Final
look like
Fantasy?
furry potatoes. Yeah.
I forget what they call them in Final Fantasy. They're potatoes. I keep calling them potatoes. that's that's
Those
what Mike
Tarus.
referred us to.
Or Papori, is that the Terra class?
Yeah.
Papori,
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah.
But yeah, it just to me it feels the style just seems kind of like a hodgepodge of everything that's out there just
Yeah.
shoved together in one game, and I don't need that. I've got Final Fantasy if I want to play that type of game.
I mean, it is hard to ignore that that's exactly where they kind of have to that is the audience they're going for, Jason. So that's some tough competition. I mean,
Yeah.
that's some tough
Well,
competition.
I wonder if they're going for their Terra audience because they could wrap that game up or something. 'Cause I
Maybe.
feel like that
Maybe.
has not been doing great lately.
Maybe.
I jumped on Terra for a little bit, for a moment, but then the young girl looking characters was a
Oh,
little
the
too much.
Ellen,
Yeah.
Elian.
Yeah, the Elon.
Yeah, there
They
was a
don't have
little
any of
too
those.
many of them.
They don't seem to have a lolly race in this.
Not just the little tiny cats.
Yeah, little tiny cats.
Yep. Like I said,
This one, see,
fuzzy potatoes.
the reason this one doesn't interest me as much, Jason, is because this skews a little closer or a little more to the PvP side of things than the PvE. That's not to say that there isn't PvE content, but from a design standpoint, and according to an Ask Me Anything on Reddit, you could tell that this is more geared towards the PvP Among Us, including open world PvP and things like that. So those
Right.
types of players, yeah, great. You might get something good here. Action combat, PvP, open world PvP. So like here, what's the maximum number of players supported for PvE and PvP content? For PvP, the max capacity allows for 100 versus 100 battle, so a total of
Just gonna say that,
200.
yeah.
For PvE, we currently have 5-player dungeons in the game, yet in the field or in the dimensional portal content, up to 50 players can play together. So there is no real, at least at this time from what they've said, there's no real raiding scene at the end, right? You do have
Raids are horribly overrated.
you do have like 5-player
and-
dungeons, and you do have some like world boss type stuff. Bam bams, like what is it? Like a very bam
Bams,
bam.
yeah.
like but yeah, so it's more to the PvP. If you had to pick one thing you should look forward to with end game gameplay, what would it be? Their answer from the development team was you can look forward to the wars between each realm in the dimensional portal where you battle over defeating bosses. In addition, there's also a PvP battles between servers where you can fight to become the ultimate PvP player. So very, very geared towards the PvP side of things. Yet another reason why lately I've just kind of kept losing interest in Elyon.
Here's what I've got to say, though,
Right.
is they're actually answering these questions. They're actually out there giving
Yeah,
details of the game.
Yeah, no
Whereas
doubt.
I would bet you 9 times out of 10 with a game like the other one. I've already forgotten the stupid Solo, Swords of Legend Online.
Yeah.
It's the same crap as everything else, but they're not telling you any of it. Like I'd almost wait to communicate. Just communicate.
Well,
I
see, no,
almost wanna
that
say
one, they don't
know
on their
how.
website. But if you, and so, yes, I will agree with you. This is
On the
terrible
website,
marketing.
I looked around. I looked on FAQs. It's like there's hardly anything.
Yeah, if
any
you go
solid
look for
details out there.
anything official, yeah, it's a pain in the ass to find it. But there are videos of like first looks videos and things
Sure,
like that
videos
of people.
can do. Yeah, anyone can jump in the game if they can do a video, but to actually have
Right.
the developers actually come out and say this is in our
I'm
game.
literally telling you, I
Yeah.
totally agree with it's marketed and advertised and feature listed 100% incorrectly to sell the game. All I'm saying is that looking at the two and the information I did glean from other people that have played and first looks, I lean towards the Swords one more than Elyon now, only because it is more 5-person dungeon raid content type stuff, which is what I enjoy more than PvP. That's all. Jesus, Jason. Good Lord, man.
I'm angry.
He's fired up today.
He is,
I'm
yeah,
fired up.
he's very,
When we
very
talk
fired up
mediocre
about
MMOs, I get fired up.
this.
Will
So-
PvP be open world, as in there's a possibility of being PK'd while questing, grinding, farming? There is both a PvP which takes place in the open world and also PvP that takes place inside instance location. While PK is possible in the field, we are limiting areas in which essential gameplay, so it's not stressful in essential gameplay areas. Totally makes sense. You know, we've seen it done before. This was, I thought, an interesting question, Yod, to your point about Terra. After developing the popular action combat MMORPG Terra, what have you learned from the years of experience in that title that you hope to showcase and expand upon in Elyon? They replied, the non-targeting combat in Terra was great, but it was also a barrier to entry due to being inconvenient and difficult. Elyon brings in the strengths of the non-targeting combat system from Terra, but then resolves the inconvenience and difficulty that was also apparent in Terra. Also, there were a predetermined way in which combat would play out for everyone in Terra with that system, but Elyon shifts and expands more towards individualized combat experiences. Yod
not sure I
is,
understand what
Yod
that
is
means, but yeah.
reflecting.
I think Yod isn't sure either.
I don't. Yeah.
Don't you want an individualized combat experience?
No, not really. I want to be. I don't need to tweak my combat. I want to be able to get on the keyboard and hit go.
No, I think they were talking about more like everything in the game functioned the same way when they were thinking about having Class A in Terra do it. Like, they didn't expect me to be playing Class A very different than Jason was playing Class A. I think, and that's true. If you play Terra, like, as you either know your rotation and everybody's doing the same thing, or you don't know your rotation, in which case you suck at your class, right? You know,
That's
get
true,
good
yeah.
type deal. I think, now whether it pans out or not, what they're trying to say here is that you could have, in theory, the way I interpret this question, Jason and I play the same class in a slightly different way due to some customization options that we've picked for our character along the way, and both would be at least relatively valid. I don't want to say equally valid because true balance is impossible in most of these cases, but
Nah.
will competitive PvP gear be equalized in Arena? Man, listen to this for you PvP players. While there is a balancing aspect applied to the PvP content, the gap or difference between gear will exist inside PvP. However, we constructed it in such a way that along with the balancing aspect, your controlling skills and or skill customizations should allow you to overcome the differences in gear. So truly, Jason, yes, you got wrecked because they had better gear than you, but you should have gotten good so that you could have beaten them.
With
And the problem
shitty
is that
gear.
the other guy will also get good, and then he'll still be better than you. So.
Yeah, I'm with you though, Mike. The PvP thing really turns me off. It's just
Oh, but
not something I need in my life.
you know what the real question is, though.
I get enough
What's that?
toxicity from Rocket League. I don't need it somewhere else.
You know the real question, though, you haven't asked yet, is a developer jumping in and saying, "Just saw a question if
That's where I was
ERP
going
is
next.
allowed."
Yeah. Apparently, whoever put the question up then deleted it. So they just replied,
jeez.
just saw a question if ERP is allowed, but I can't find it anymore to answer. You bet it is, sweetheart.
Oh, we don't need another Goldshire.
So if you want to ERP with your little cat, you
Oh,
absolutely can.
fuzzy cat potatoes.
You can. To us PvE players, though, are there plans for more complex PvE-related content, such as larger raids in the future? At the current moment, people seem to say there aren't really any difficult raids, so I was wondering if that could change in the future to introduce high-level PvE content, such as mythic-level raids that can be challenging for players to complete. And they say directly, to Jason's point, I mean, they're answering the questions, not at the moment, but we're looking into it in a positive light. However, when considering content with high difficulty level, we're thinking of ways in which more players can enjoy themselves rather than a small number of players. So
Whole Milk asks, "What about ERPVP?"
isn't that like when you teabag somebody?
I don't know.
I guess.
I'm not even sure
don't know.
how that works.
So one thing that is weird here is, and we saw this in initial trailers, and I think it might even be in the trailer that I grabbed here, if I was smart enough to grab the right trailer on purpose here. They did very early on had airships and battles, big airship battles and stuff like that in trailers, and that was one of the things that we were like, wow, that's really cool, like to see it. Apparently, Jason, though, they might have gone back on that one a little bit. If you read into the AMA, where no airships. There'll be airships where a lot of people can get on and travel together, but no flying mount airship full scale warfare yet, like we're seeing here. But they may get back to it.
Could you imagine the processing power that would take for 100 on 100 person airship battles?
Well, I mean. It was in very early trailers, though, super early. And Jason, I think, if I remember right, I think you kind of pegged it now that we are able to, hindsight being 2020, is you were like, when we first saw this trailer, I distinctly think I remember hearing you say something like, all of this stuff can't possibly be in this game. This looks like a trailer of... if I could make a perfect MMORPG, here is all the shit I would put in it.
That sounds like something I would have said.
And here we are, some of that stuff not making it.
Yeah, and what I love almost as much as I love, in case you missed it, was when they say, someone asked about that, is that going to be something in there? It's like, we are aware of the positive community feedback regarding the original air combat mechanics for Elyon. Although we haven't discussed this in depth yet, we may have plans on this for the future. Anytime a game developer says, MMO developer says, we may have plans for this in the future, that means we ain't planning to do it, but we're not.
What a terrible thing, though. It's like, oh, yeah, we understand how positive everybody was receiving that initial trailer and stuff and wanted that airship combat and stuff. Yeah, we totally didn't do it. It's been 3 years since we showed you that trailer. We're still talking about it. Maybe. It's like, wait a minute, why'd you put it in the trailer? I don't know. Anyway, you've got your first closed beta test starting on the 6th. I am also in that one, and I don't have, at least yet, an NDA in my hand. So possibly stream this, next week. I don't know. We'll see if I'm allowed. Or if I get an NDA, logging into the game. It's like, hey, can't share this. And shit. Why didn't the PR people send this to me? All right, so let us know what you think of those two MMOs on their way. And, of course, stay tuned to Ready Check Radio, where we'll be playing them on stream so that you can check them out as well. Let's move on, gentlemen, to some financial stuff. Apparently, Jason, EA likes money and hates all of us.
Yeah, it's always been the case.
This is news?
No, not really. Move on. Next topic.
Okay. I mean, I know they want my money, but that's...
Oh, they definitely want your money, and we'll get to that in a second.
That's true. Yeah, they want your football. They want your money in FIFA Ultimate Team, especially.
Oh, that's you guys. That's all you guys.
Oh, it's not me. It ain't me.
That's not me
It
either.
ain't me. It ain't me.
I
Ever.
don't. Yeah, I don't play the FIFA game. I'm just gonna pour my tea here.
I see. Here's the thing, though. I used to love the FIFA games. Like there was a crew of my friends. That's all we played. Like I'm a hockey guy. We didn't even play NHL. On the PlayStation 2 in particular, it was FIFA every night. FIFA. I haven't played a FIFA game since those days because of the Ultimate Teams. But anyway, and because I just don't enjoy the game anymore. But yeah, apparently, they do want you to spend money on those FIFA Ultimate Teams and their loot boxes. And in fact, Jason, some leaked documents kind of saying we're intentionally pushing you there.
Yeah, in fact, they said we are doing everything we can to drive players there. All roads lead to FUT, meaning FIFA Ultimate Team. That was what was in it.
I mean, you could have just stopped there. All roads lead to FU.
Yeah,
Yeah,
sounds about right to me.
FU team.
Yeah, I like David Jackson, FIFA VP of brand, coming out after this whole thing leaked, saying, hey, it's important to say that we never push people to spend money in the game. We do encourage engagement in the game, and every single item that you'd like to engage with in that mode can be engaged with for free. Play is the #1 success metric. It's not about incentivizing people to spend.
Didn't we go through this already with Battlefront?
Play is the #1 success metrics. That's why you don't have 18 pages in your financial reports about how many people are playing.
But yeah, didn't we go through this with the Star Wars Battlefront game?
I guess it's that feeling of pride and accomplishment that I just
Yeah.
find myself yearning for more and more.
I mean, I just enjoy the surprise mechanics myself.
I understand.
Yeah.
Understand. That was one of the few questions on MMO Jeopardy on yesterday's free-to-play cast that somebody got right.
Yeah, no kidding.
Surprise mechanics.
You gotta have me on. You gotta have me doing that thing. I'd whip it.
If you didn't see it
Amazing.
last night, it is up on YouTube. Check it out. The free-to-play cast. Troy and Wilfredo, I made them play MMO Jeopardy. With $3,000 of total board money on the table, not including Final Jeopardy, you'll be stunned at how much our players actually walked away with. Now, EA definitely wants Yod's money. We are, what,
Yes.
1 week away? It's next weekend, isn't it?
It is. I think it is.
Oh,
I think it might be.
God, next weekend,
Mhm.
Mass Effect. And Yod,
Yep.
you want this Liara statue, don't you?
I do. When the special edition was announced and there was no statues with it, and they had the Gara statue, I did tell you guys if there was a Liara statue, I'd get it, and here they have it. God dang it!
So, but you don't have to spend the $500
No,
to get that one. So, how much is this one? Like, what is
I
it?
don't know. I don't think they
95,
even
something like
say. I'm assuming it's the same amount as the Garrus one.
Yeah, the Garrus one was
500?
like 95.
Yeah, so that's not too bad.
Oh, okay,
I do-
95. Okay, all right. That's not. Yeah.
Yeah, so.
I mean,
I
you're
do
making
wonder
money
how-
for all these graphics you're making for us, so you should be able to afford it.
Right.
He does get paid. I mean, he does get paid. But that's like assuming that, like, he doesn't have other bills or anything.
Right.
Yeah, the
And,
cat
you know,
doesn't
I-
need to eat this week.
I don't just come up with stuff, without Mike asking and giving it to him with the current stuff.
Yeah, that's happened too. So, funny story about Mass Effect, by the way. Talking to AKA Mike B, who is going to be a guest host on Gaming Gumbo here on the 29th. So 4 weeks from now, one of you will have the day off. AKA Mike B, generously donating some time. So I was talking to him and I said, hey, we do the show. And he's like, yeah, sure. And I said, okay, do you want to do May 9th? Which I think I meant May 8th, but whatever. So I said, do you want to do May 8th? And he says, oh, I can't. Yeah, I have a family function that I've got to go to that day. How about the 22nd? And I said, well, we could do the 15th. And he was like, oh, no, we can't. Mass Effect comes out that weekend. So he was booked. He was booked the weekend of the 15th. 22nd didn't work due to some COVID shot stuff. So 29th, Mike B will be here. Not the 15th, Mass Effect stuff.
Mhm.
Are you playing day one, Yod?
I will probably buy it day one because I have come to the conclusion that I am not pre-ordering anything at this point because
Right.
who knows when these things actually come out. So I'll probably buy it on Steam day one and download it and play it.
Jason, have you come to a final decision on this one?
Yeah, I'm not buying it.
No.
No. It's like when I replayed through Mass Effect another time, or I remember it was one. It just felt wrong to be doing anything other than my basic what I had done the first time. It's like you're watching a movie, but someone else was in the cast. It's like
I
You
still
didn't want to
play
go
it.
can't
through
do
and
it.
make different choices. You were like,
No,
no, I got this
I
right the
couldn't.
first time. I got this.
Yeah,
still do
exactly.
I still do
I
it.
killed all the Krogan. That's how it's supposed to be.
Oh my.
No, I still do it. Even if I make the same choices over and over again, I still do it.
I don't think I'm day one. I don't think I'll be partaking next week. In fact, I probably will just wait for a sale. I was not invested enough in 2 and 3 to really be like, oh, I got to get this. You know, it's not a Final Fantasy remaster for me where it's a definite day one purchase. I'll probably wait till it's 10 or $15 on sale. Like right now, I've got a Near Replicant that I got to finish up alternate endings for. I just got Returnal, which came out last night or came out yesterday. You know, I got stuff I've got to do.
Ah, yes, Returnal.
Speaking of finances, here's a pretty weird one that came out of nowhere. Microsoft is apparently going to start taking a smaller cut from video game developers. Reuters reporting that Microsoft Corporation will cut its charges for video game developers who publish games in its online store. Starting August, the New York Times reported on Thursday. The company did not immediately respond to Reuters for a request for comment. The move comes at a time when Apple Incorporated is battling a lawsuit filed last year by Fortnite creator Epic Games, alleging that the iPhone maker has abused its dominance in the market for mobile apps, something we've covered extensively and will continue to cover extensively on MMO Bomb as that case actually starts this month in court. So we're keeping an eye on it. Jason's all over it. According to the New York Times report, developers can now keep 88% of the revenue that they make from their games, up from 70% earlier, making Microsoft's store more attractive to independent developers and smaller gaming studios. Kind of, where they pull those numbers, Jason? They went from 70-30 to 88-12. I feel like we've heard those numbers before.
Yeah, and it's really a shame there isn't an online game store besides Epic Game Store that offers an 88-12 split. It's a shame that one doesn't exist at all.
Yep. And now one exists. Well,
no, it's a shame.
Exist.
It's a shame only one exists.
Right.
Nope, there's no other store that does that.
Not yet.
Nope, there's still, even in August, there won't be. Because Fantasy Star Online 2, Microsoft Store does not exist to me. It's a shame there won't be one.
Oh.
But yeah, I mean,
it is kind of a crappy platform.
Yeah, that's but even so, the point is, it's interesting to wonder now if other companies, if other stores did start doing a lot more of this, what does that do to Epic? Because what do they have besides that?
Right.
And I guess the free games and Fortnite, I'm sure. But if everyone started doing that, all that money that we've talked about this previously about how he's trying to become the industry leader by spending tons of cash. Well, if they no longer have that advantage, why would anybody go there? That'll be the interesting question. If Tim Sweeney he states his desire is to create a more equitable playing field for everyone, because he wants everyone to have this great discount or whatever, the payment or whatever. That would actually kind of be bad for him, you would think.
Well, we've said it on the show before too that if Steam decided tomorrow to do 88-12, that'd be the end of the Epic Game Store. Like it would just wouldn't. It would cease to be a thing anymore at that point.
I mean, Steam already has the architecture, the
player base,
the player base. They live there, and with the fact that this whole setup,
they have a cart.
Microsoft,
oh my god!
it comes built in already. So,
although
which we'll be talking about in a bit.
I guess I was gonna say I guess some things just kind of get overlooked sometimes. Like adding a search function to the Stadia. Way to go, Google. Speaking, hey, it's there now. I guess 17 months later, it's finally there. Speaking of finances, continuing that category, the state of Nevada is apparently considering some legislation to regulate esports. Now, not a lot, right? They just want to dip their toes in this, kind of regulate it the same way they kind of do with boxing or martial arts fights and things like that, where there are certain rules and regulations to ensure equitable and fair play and safe play and everything. And Jason, being the more esports inclined among us, I wonder how you feel about this, because apparently video game companies hate this idea. They hate it.
Shockingly, people hate having their things regulated.
Imagine
That
that.
is a story
Say.
told since the dawn of time. If
Don't
auto
say.
manufacturers had their way, 14-year-old drunks could be driving cars. That's how it would be. So I mean, I don't have an issue with it. Again, I don't know the details exactly of what they're going to want, because an interesting thing is, you look at something like again, any sort of physical sports. One of the major things they have in regulations is regulations to have medical staff on hand or whatever. That's probably not so much a big deal with esports. So I don't know exactly what they would be regulating. It might just be, we're going to take a cut of your profit or whatever, 2% or something.
That is the big question: is what are they regulating?
But on the other
what is the
hand,
need?
if we're going to be perfectly honest, esports are a little dirty in a lot of ways. A lot of different competitions, they don't necessarily pay their guys well or give them good conditions or whatever. So something to maybe make that a little better, or at least on the surface appear to be better, might not be such a bad thing.
The ESA trying to kill this bill. I mean, they're not even coy about it.
ESA will kill anything.
The ESA is trying to just destroy this bill and kill it on Friday. So I mean, it's just pretty tremendous backlash. They just want zero. Kike Heffer said they want zero interaction with government, and I think that position is only tenable for so long. They're citing that, hey, no other state has this, and if you guys do it, we're done. We'll just go to other states, and so this actually hurts Nevada if you do this. And we don't need this, because the companies making these games, Yod, have already put in all of these different safeguards to ensure fair play, to ensure that there's no cheating, to ensure that all this stuff's going. So why do we need this? They invest heavily in the development of the rules, compliance, monitoring, technical integrity measures, including trade secret information. A highly efficient and effective self-regulatory approach was the statement from the ESA.
Okay, so in a perfect world, all right? In a perfect world, sure, that the companies can regulate themselves. Also, in a perfect world, sure, the government will set up laws that benefit, the sports setup and the fans and the players and all that. But considering how politics are these days, I have to ask myself, who's trying to get a taste of it? And is that all the law is someone in the government trying to get a taste of the cash coming in? But I don't know. I'd have to actually see the law and see what's written on it.
We don't want no government in our esports. We'll see.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see how it goes.
Jason, what the hell do you have here? Europa Universalis for Leviathan expansion launched this week, and it's doing pretty well on Steam. So why'd you add it here?
92%.
Yeah, 92%. Why'd you add it to the show
wait.
notes?
Oh, no, wait. 92% negative.
Oh.
80%
Yeah.
That makes it literally the lowest reviewed product on Steam. On a list of 40,431, it is number 40,431.
Why is it getting pumped? Like, this is an expansion to a very, very well-received game. Like, how is this? What is going on here?
It is apparently a horribly buggy mess. Just doesn't work. I'll just read the first review here. This is a joke. Random crashes. Then when you try to reload the game tries to get all cute, causing your air dying, and our auto 3-stab estate missions failing if you don't have a estate mission. There are some cool features, but the execution and mean-spiritedness is just stupid. Don't buy for a few patches. I wish I listened to everyone else's advice. Next guy says, Iron Man saves are randomly lost 15 hours down the drain. The DLC has completely broken the game. Do not buy. So, and it just goes on from there.
My favorite
yeah.
might be all positive reviews are memes. There is no one who likes this.
Nobody liked
Wow.
that. I can just see the little Fallout 4 thing.
That is,
Everybody is like that.
that is my
Wow.
favorite review.
So yeah,
Yeah, so we
someone's
set a
calling it,
record this week. Awesome. The lowest review scored piece of software on Steam.
I saw someone call it because the game starts in 1444. Someone was calling it Cyberpunk 1444.
I was just gonna say that sounds
And
like
you got our
Cyberpunk on launch.
requirement in. Thank you, Jason,
There you go.
for
Thank
getting
you.
our Cyberpunk required mention. Before we finish up here with games of the week, we're going to go to Yod's Movie Corner. Yod, what do you got for us this week?
I like game adjacent. Well, this past week, Mortal Kombat came out.
Yes, it did.
Did you
Yes,
guys check it out?
I did not yet. I did not. It's on
No?
HBO Max, though, right? I can get it there?
Right, yeah,
Okay.
it's on HBO Max.
I
Jason?
might watch that while
No,
this
I haven't
renders
seen that
then.
yet.
Okay, do you guys remember the original?
Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Did you watch Annihilation?
Yeah. Yeah.
The sequel? Yeah, I think so.
Did you like Annihilation?
No.
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 Okay, well, it was better than Annihilation.
All right. So I've actually seen a lot of people that friends of mine that have seen this. They said they enjoyed the movie. They still hold the first one in a little bit of a higher regard, but this one was good, and apparently it was good enough they had plans for 4 if this did well, and apparently
I thought it was 3.
they are 3 additional ones.
Okay.
For one of the actors' contract had 4 movies
I
stipulated in it. If this one did well, and apparently the rumor is they are moving forward with the second one. So, I mean, it can't be that
Okay.
bad, right? What did you think? Did you watch it?
I did. I watched it, and it as a movie that you sit there and throw popcorn at it. It's a popcorn movie. It's
I think that's
not
all I would have expected,
cinema.
though, right? Like,
They okay. So
I don't go see the
spoilers.
latest Resident Evil movie expecting an Academy Award-winning
Well,
film.
the reboot. I'm kind of hoping that it'll be better than the Jovovich ones. But yeah, I would hold
They're
this one
good. You
above.
shut your mouth.
I enjoy watching them, but for a different reason. I don't hold them in the same regard as what one would call cinema or film. These are movies that you just either put in the background or watch to laugh at.
I mean, let's just
But-
be honest. They barely qualify as talkies. I mean, they just
Right. I mean, in this case, they did use some of the finishing moves, so that was fun.
Ninja Pandas in chat says fatalities are amazing.
Yes, the fatalities were used, which was fun. Going into a little bit of spoiler territory, the main character really was more of a plot point because he's not an actual character in Mortal Kombat. So I could have used, they could have replaced him with any other character in Mortal Kombat and kind of made the connections there or something like that, or spun it a little differently because I really didn't care for him. Some of the special effects were good. Raiden's special effects looked like they were exactly the same as the ones they used in Big Trouble in Little China.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, I like the actor they got for him. He made a better Raiden than Christopher Lambert. Jesus.
Was he actually Asian?
Yeah, he was actually that. Okay, so that's the other thing. That's the other this movie is what happens when you have a bunch of non-Asian people making a pseudo-Asian movie and getting the most non-Asian looking yet still Asian actors.
All right.
So, yeah.
Josh Lawson, I heard, basically carries the movie.
Yeah, Kano was
Kano just
amazing.
carries it on his back.
He should get back surgery after that because he carried the entire freaking thing. Goro looks kind of like someone grabbed a fan-made model of the Hulk, gave him 2 extra arms, a set of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle hands from the last was it Michael Bay movie with turtles, and strapped the Warcraft armor on him from the orcs in the Warcraft movie and called it good.
Well,
Harsh.
So yeah, that's my critical review of the movie.
yeah, I'm gonna have to go watch. So 1 out of 10. What do you give it?
I give it a 4.
Oh, God! Like you generally sounded like, you should watch this, but then you give it a 4.
No, we didn't. I didn't think I got a.
So
I got like a hey, if you want to just unplug your brain and eat some popcorn, you could do worse. That's kind of what
Right.
I got.
that is what I call
the
a
1
4.
through 3.
Yeah, that is what I call a 4. Annihilation was a 1. Annihilation on premiere night, I went in,
the 1
and my
through
date
3.
and I got tossed out of the theater. We went out and wandered around Toys R Us for an hour while our friends finished watching the movie, and we had a better time than they did.
Castlevania Season 4, 2 weeks away. I think we've mentioned this
Right.
on the show before. May 13th. I can't wait.
But
I
we
know
have a
my
trailer
son
now.
Torchwick can't wait. We do have a trailer. Go ahead and check it out. However, it will be the last season,
Mhm.
but they're gonna probably boot up a different series. Now, whether that means they go to a
Right.
different Castlevania game or they go to some just different characters in the
Mhm.
franchise, we don't know the particulars on that. But the storyline that you've seen for the first 3 seasons will be wrapped up here with season 4.
Right.
Don't
that
spoil it
will-
for me. I'm gonna watch.
that-
I think I might watch this.
Oh, you definitely have to.
Yeah,
They're
dude,
so
you
good,
should.
Jason. Yeah,
And-
they're
and
so good.
We should all get our opinions together on another show after this
Oh,
last season comes
absolutely.
out.
Yeah, absolutely.
I have to watch the first 3 first.
Oh, yeah,
it
yeah,
won't take
I
you
think
long.
I-
I mean, the first season's
yeah.
only 4 episodes for crying out loud.
Oh, okay.
And then
Right.
the second and third, I think, are both like 8 or 8
Six
and 10
or
or
eight,
something
yeah.
like that. Yeah.
Yes, they're not that
And they're
many.
24 minutes an episode, so
Mhm.
you'll burn through them, Jason.
Yeah, it's just it's
and you
Netflix,
will
there's a dub.
love Trevor and Alucard. You will just
Mhm.
love the two of them together. So good, so good.
Oh,
All
yeah.
right, gentlemen, let's slide over and do our games of the week.
Well, God, since we had that movie come out, I gotta go with Mortal Kombat, the latest one. Go
What's
play
that,
the
11?
game. It probably has a better storyline.
Yeah, Mortal Kombat 11, huh?
Yeah, it has a
I'm
better storyline than the movie.
I'm going to give mine to Returnal, PS5 exclusive. I am not far enough to say that like it's definitely worth the $70 price point. I actually got mine at $60 because I had bought Nier Replicant and then another 5 off because I have hundreds of thousands of GameStop points. I also am not sure yet if I'm a fan of like the huge controversial like mechanic right now where there really is no save stating through this thing. You just start over and
That is
go.
weird.
But damn, for a title that both Jason and I were like watching trailers and we're like, I don't know, that it looks kind of boring. All we're seeing is this character like walk around and look at stuff and the environment looks cool, but that's it. It is suspenseful. It has like when you watch the original Alien movie or you Aliens 2, not the action or Aliens, not the action scenes, like when they're doing like it is suspenseful as shit. The world is just beautiful as far as an alien, awe-inspiring, very scared to kind of what's going to happen around the corner. The combat feels great. Like I love everything about the game so far. So I definitely recommend trying it. But as far as its core mechanic, which makes it pretty difficult and pretty punishing, where you can lose a couple hours of progress just by a death, I don't know. I haven't gotten mad at it happening yet, but I could see maybe later in the game. So my game of the week for this week could change in the future. Go ahead, Jason.
So that Total War Rome remastered came out this week.
Yeah.
And it has 69% positive on Steam. However, Total War Rome 2, which everybody hated when it came out, is at 83% positive. So Total War Rome 2 is my game of the week. I have that's the big old FU to all the people who just worship Total War Rome. So screw all you guys. You all got suckered into buying something new. I have 82 hours in Rome 2, and I love it. So bite me.
All right, chat, let us know if you're watching in the comments on YouTube or on ReadyCheckRadio.com who wins the game of the week suggestion. And chat on Twitch, hang tight. After the show, we'll be coming up with Torchwick. We'll be streaming in Torchwick. You told me earlier that there's a chance you could finish your current game on Games Older Than Me today. And you're muted.
I figured that one out. There's a chance. It's a slim chance, but we could be beating Metal Gear Solid tonight. And if that's the case, I'm probably gonna have to boot up some NES games just to fill that like half hour that might be left.
Yeah, just throw something on there. As
Yeah.
long as the game is older than you, it's fair. It's fair game.
You
It's
can play
fair game.
Metal Gear.
Just play Duck Hunt. It'll
Yeah,
be
you
fine.
could play the original Metal Gear.
Well, we were talking about this before the stream even began, and it was a mess. I should have.
Now you're still on hard difficulty, right? Like no radar. You haven't backtracked
Yes.
and okay. All right.
It's been interesting. We didn't get stuck.
You have died a few
That's all I
times.
can say about it.
You have had some dumb deaths. That's for sure. That's for sure. I've seen some of them. Well, good luck finishing that tonight. Chat, don't go anywhere after the show. A few minutes after the show, we'll take the stream down, bring it back up. Torchwick will be there with Games Older Than Me. Of course, we'll be back with another episode of Gaming Gumbo next Saturday, 7 p.m. Eastern, giving you your weekly wrap-up in gaming news. Until then, Yod, where can everybody find you?
Yada Artworks on Twitter, Yada Artworks on Facebook, and right here on Gaming Gumbo.
Jason.
Find me on Twitter at WinterInformal, streaming at twitch.tv/JasonWinter.
I'm Mike Byrne. You can follow me personally right there at MagicMan1, but more importantly, follow at RC Radio, RAIDEO, so we can tweet at you and you can join us live. Till next week, stay safe. We'll see you on the servers.